Well, hello, Bob Dendry here, and welcome back to Transport Fever 2, The Long Game. So last episode we did a lot of work around Wichita Falls here. We built our freight bypass for our cross-river freight trip train, and we also did a bit of work making the Wichita Falls junction a little bit more compact, which does reduce some of our speeds we can gain, but it also does increase the amount of signaling we can get in there by sort of making those diverging sort of routes a little bit shorter. As it turns out, this has actually been stage one of our modernization of the Wichita Falls corridor. And we've got more work to do today to finish this vision. In actual fact, I just thought of this sort of during the week since I made the last episode and thought it would be a cool idea to add in. So that is what we're going to do. So basically, we do still have a little bit of a bottleneck here, where we have trains that have come sort of through Wichita. That's including our alcohol train from Albuquerque, as well as our lines coming from Chandler. They switch over to our left pair of tracks as we're looking right now, whereas our freight trains coming through the bypass actually switch over to the right-hand side of the tracks. That does cause some issues. It does cause some conflict, and we can resolve it with a little bit of work, basically all the way from Wichita Falls Junction down to here. And that's what we're going to start to do now. So we have this freight platform at Wichita Falls that we are no longer using. Obviously, we switched our unloading over to this platform over here at Upper Wichita Falls, which is receiving goods in, and they are being shipped around the city, so that is good to see. And the good thing about getting rid of freight platforms is that they are wider than our passenger platforms. So quite often it gives us the ability to put in additional passenger platforms, which is what we're going to do here. So what I'm going to do, we are going to remove these old freight platforms. We are going to add additional tracks. And then we are going to sneak a new passenger platform in here. How do we look now? I don't want to remove all of them, and it looks like we actually are going to need to do that. So sorry, Wichita, I do apologize for pulling out all of your residential, but it's okay. This is a major project. This would be supported by the government, and these probably would have been acquired, I guess, compulsorily. So we have 2 additional tracks in there. We will get a new passenger building in here as well, so we can get customers in and out. Yeah, and there we go. We have our new entrance buildings, and we're going to add some roofing as well. All right, so the plan from here is our trains coming from Chandler, rather than joining up with this existing line, they will actually feed directly into this new pair of tracks. From there, we will actually need to do a bit of sort of a dive underneath our other tracks so they join up on the other side. So it's a little bit messy, but I think it is, still pretty good. I don't see really any other opportunity for us to do anything different. We don't have any trains using the platform. I guess there was formerly our freight platform. So I'm just going to disconnect that from the line. And we will run a new pair of tracks. So now, rather than this pair of tracks joining up to our existing main line, we will actually have it join up here. Probably not like that though. That is a very slow curve. So we probably want to maybe do it about here or so. Let's have a look. There's probably not going to be much getting away from it being quite a hard connection, but I'm just seeing if there's anything else we could potentially do. If we maybe go from here or so. It's still reducing in speed a reasonable amount, but it's not the worst. It is, I mean, it's quite close to the worst, let's be honest. So we might need to see if we can break off a little bit sooner in that case. We want to break off sooner or later? I don't know. Definitely don't want to be going that way though. So if we're going here, we're getting down to about 60, but it's a fairly short stretch of 60. So yeah, it might be the best we can do. We probably don't want to go overboard trying to make this a super high speed connection. We just need to look up here. Beautiful. From there, we will punch through the line here as well. Don't know if they're matching up properly. They are now. Once again, this is going to cause a few buildings to be removed, but hopefully we should be able to still get some new buildings in there to replace them. Do apologize, the town would be very unhappy with this, but it's the cost of progress, isn't it? That sometimes you need to make unpopular decisions. Now, what I want to do here is have a tunnel potentially under this pair of tracks here and join up here. So let's see if we can get that to work. This might take a lot of effort actually, because I'm not sure if our grades are the best for this happening. Got someone unhappy. We will check that out in a second. Need to wait till we do this though. Actually, it's not going too badly. We might even be able to... Well, I mean, we'll get pretty close to being able to join back up actually. And we're maintaining a decent speed as well. And we are so close to being able to join back up there, but we're not quite there yet. Okay, cool. So we shouldn't really have to do anything else really here except just make the connection, right? Or we might actually be a bit close there. We might need to tunnel a bit earlier. Yeah, actually. Hang on. Oh, wait, hang on. Oh, the connection's there. We should just be able to join up. No, we've got a slight collision. If we build anyway, what does it look like? Oh, yeah, that is a collision and a half. Okay. Hopefully, we can still get this to work. Might need to do a bit more of a connection. Oh. Okay, we're still quite close. We might need to change the angle, actually, to be a bit more sort of straight across like so. Now we're having trouble with getting it back up high enough. Oh, man, I hate this. I hate this so much. Other thing we could do, which we've done before, is rather than tunneling, bridge over the top instead. All right, let's see now if this will work. What are we colliding with? Ah. What about now? How are we going? Decent. Okay, now in order to make this work, we need to shift back our connection with our freight bypass back over to like here on the other side of the crossover, which I'm hoping will be okay. I don't see it causing any issues. It looks fine to me. And we should be able to disconnect these. Okay, cool. Got people upset. Got trains mutually blocked, in fact. Oh yeah, that is a mutual blocking and a half. Why are you wanting to go that way? That doesn't make any sense. I think we need to pull out this little sneaky connection we'd put in there to move things around. Why do you want to go that way? That's quite silly. I don't know why you would do that. We can fix this though. We will get a signal in here and add that as a waypoint. Yeah, sorry team, sorry about that. I did not realize Cross River Mainline would want to do that. Very silly of it. Anyway. Now back to Wichita. So we should pretty much be able to switch over both of our Chandler lines now to run on the other set of tracks with no issues. 4 and what, 3? Perfect. What is the blue line? What's the blue line? Where is that going? I actually don't know. Oh, actually, that would be this line here. Okay, that makes sense. Cool, cool. Now, is anyone now using this cutover? Yes, the pink line, which I would imagine is our Albuquerque alcohol line. Yes, it is. And could we... Yes, we could fairly easily switch that across to run onto this pair of tracks. We're going to disconnect this old connection here. It's no longer required. And we should pretty much be able to just feed a pair through here. Like so, if they all connect. Like so. And if we're lucky, perfect, pink will now use that other pair of tracks. Cool. That means we should be able to get rid of this entirely. Perfect. There we go. So this will free up a bit of capacity on our network as well. So I'm quite happy with what we've been able to do there. I'm just going to re-signal the bits where we've potentially lost some signals. Maybe. No, apparently we're not wanting to signal. Okay, that's a bit weird. Why won't you signal? Well, you signal. You are happy to signal. And probably do need to signal in the other direction now as well, don't we? Just to make sure we are covering ourselves there. Yeah, it's all looking pretty good. That isn't looking good. Let's see if we can fix that. We do have... If I'm not mistaken, we actually have some tracks here. 300-foot pole spacing. Can we switch these out? No, they've not done anything there, have they? Well, it's better than nothing. So I'm just going to leave it like that. So there we go. This is a pretty big win for us, I think. So we should be seeing very little, if any, congestion here. One last thing I want to fix is actually duplicate all the way through to Chandler. This is sort of one of the last sort of single track sections of Passenger, I think. We're pretty much completely double tracked at this point. Aside from really this So we will fix that up. We might need to pause a little bit and break some stuff, as we do. As you know, we love to break things, and today's no exception. And that should fix everything up. Unpause again and get some new signals in as well. Why are you unhappy with this? Oh, okay, actually. Reason is you don't have any electrification there. Maybe? Is that not what you're unhappy about? Okay, cool. All right. All right. Perfect. So that should be everything we need now to have solved this. There's a bit of a weird connection, this sort of swerve, but I think overall it still does reasonably well. We've actually got some non-high speed track here as well, which we might convert over. In fact, we've got a couple of sections that we've forgotten to upgrade. Next, what I'm going to do is retire the rest of our GP7s, which we still do have a few of them kicking around. It is 2000, so these are pretty much ancient at this point. Yes, I do know I'm really bad at replacing old trains. I'm well aware of that, so I do apologize. But I guess it is what it is. That's a little quirk of mine that you need to deal with, isn't it? So these are chemical. So we will get these switched across to AC 6000s, and we should be able to... And we should be able to do pretty much just a straight swap for another boxcar train. Just going to do with these FMCs again. Up to 240 or thereabouts. Switch those across. And for our Lafayette oil trains, I'm actually going to replace all of these. I think these are 320 meters long, are they? Yeah. So I think we should be able to get away with a single locomotive, but if not, obviously we can switch them over. And I think we might go with flat cars if we can for these ones. Maybe. Potentially, we might actually go with some double stacks for these. Or we could just go with the 50-foot flat cars as well. Might do that actually. We're not going to double stack them because they're not running on the main line. But let's see. Can we use a single train on these? Or a single locomotive, I should say. I've gotten a bit lost here. Where are my... There they are, 50-foot flat cars. Yeah, looks like we'll be fine to run these. This will, I think, reduce the capacity a little bit, but it should be okay. And that is actually all our GP7s that are replaced now. We do still have quite a few GP38s, which probably we should start to look at replacing those. Especially the ones running on our really sort of heavyweight lines, like our iron ore and coal mines, which I think we might actually do, because these would probably benefit from having a bit more power behind them, I would say. I think these are 480 long, maybe? No, they're 320. Cool. So it should be a nice, easy replacement we can do on these then. Might go with SD80s for these. How much power do these have behind them? I don't think anywhere near as much, do they? Oh, like absolutely nowhere near as much. Cool. So this should, yeah, pump these up quite a bit, and we'll do that for the rest of those sort of chains as well. Cool. So I'm hoping that little boost in power we'll get by upgrading all those trains. It should help those fall lines, you know, just flow that little tiny bit smoother. Okay, so now that we've completed the second stage of those improvement works around Wichita, it's now going to be a good chance for us to see how the improvements look in practice. So we're going to hop aboard our Albuquerque to Oklahoma City alcohol line. This is a nice short one, but it does hopefully, or it should hopefully, demonstrate the changes we've been able to make to the network. So hope you enjoy. And I think that ride along is a really good illustration of the good that the improvements around Wichita have made. We would have normally expected prior to these improvements that train to be stopping fairly consistently, you know, every few signals, while there were slower trains, while there was conflicting movements, things like that. And we did not have that at all. So really happy with the improvements. And I hope you enjoyed the ride along. Well, that is going to be about all we have time for in this episode. So it's a bit of a shorter one. As I mentioned, I'm busy along with my fiance and getting ready to move. So a lot of packing, a lot of shifting boxes around, things like that. So it means not only do I have less time to record, I have less time to plan as well. So I do apologize, but it should be only another 2 weeks or so until that's all done and dusted. We're moving in about a week and a half. So hopefully everything will go smoothly. But if you have enjoyed this episode, please give it a like, subscribe to the channel and ring that notification bell so you get a ding to your device the next time I post a video. You can find links to my social media in the description. So please jump on there, like, follow, subscribe, do all that wonderful stuff. Big shout out to my Founders Club patrons, Caleb and Isaiah. Thank you so much to the two of you for helping to make this content possible. As well as that, just a reminder, do have a poll going in terms of where we're going to be going next with our Transport Fever 2 or our next Transport Fever 2 series. So I'd encourage you to get on there and vote. It looks like Germany's in the lead at the moment, which I'm pretty happy with, but Japan and Britain are good options as well. So please jump on there and vote if you have not already done so. But until next time, I'm Bob Dendry. This is Transport Fever 2, The Long Game. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.